Hello. We're gonna start in 1 minute. Good day, good day. Hello, hello. So, shall we get started? So today we're going to talk about sequence and series. As you know, we're not going back to Monte for the rest of the school year. So we're just trying to finish off the year here. Okay. So let's take a look at this. So first thing is the social distancing. So if you take a look, can you do these two real quick? Should be simple. If you haven't printed this one out, please go print this out. All right, here we go. So if you look at the 10th term of this, it's basically number 10, right? Because that's what it is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this will be 10. So we say T10 equals 10. And then T50 will be 50. And Tn right now will be n. Okay. So that's the first part. All right. Then, this one will be the same because this is 2 times. So it will be T10 will be what? 20, T50 will be 100, and Tn will be 2n because everything is double, right? So T meaning term. Okay. So far so good? All right. Then, finally, looking at these. Find the formula for the given sequence. So if you look at this, right, this is 10, 17, 24. How would you look at this? Well, it's 10, 17, 24. So if you look at it, well, how is it changing? How is it changing? Plus 7. So plus 7 each. So when you add 7 each, the first term will be 10, next one will be 10 plus 7, the next one will be 10 plus 7 plus 7, next one will be 10 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, right? You see this pattern? So to give a formula, you have to visualize how much 7 you have to add. So in this case, you start with 10. If you want the second term, this is the first term, right? The second term will be 10 plus 7. So that's 1 7. The third term will be 10 plus 7 plus 7. That's 2 7s. So how many 7 are you adding here? It's exactly m minus 1 7s. Okay, that will be my formula. Okay, got it. How are we doing? All right. So with the same logic, then this is a minus 8, minus 8 each time, right? So if that's the case, then we're minusing 8, therefore your sequence will start with 37, and you're subtracting 8 m minus 1 times, and that will give you your Tn. Does that make sense, what we're doing? So it's either add one less of the term number or subtract one less than the term number. This is the pattern that we're talking about. In such cases, we call this the arithmetic sequence. Okay, arithmetic sequence. We call this arithmetic. We don't have to simplify here for now. Okay, because we're going to be using it more later. So we call this an arithmetic sequence. And the key point is that we use a to represent. So an equals a1, which is the first term, plus m minus 1 times the difference. Okay. Yeah, it counts as fully simplified. It's kind of like point slow form that we use sometimes. Okay. All right. So, if you look at this to find the n term, so d is going to be your common difference. Okay, common difference, which is either the one you add or subtract. Because add and subtract are just opposite of each other, so you can just do that part. Okay. So, can you find the n term of the sequence for this one? This is a arithmetic because you're plus 3, right? So plus 3, so be what? First term, 2 plus 3 times n minus 1. Okay? So just like that. How are we doing? Does that look okay? So the equation of a line is equivalent of making the term y and make n x. So like this. And if you are familiar with it, I can move the 2 over and get this. This is called what kind of form? Do you guys remember this? What kind of form is this? Heartbeat. What is this? Because it's multiplication, Sarah, it doesn't matter. It is point slope form. You are correct. Point slope form. Point slope form. Okay? So point slope form tells you slope is 3. So how come the slope is the same thing as the difference? Some of you might ask. This is because This is because your point slope, right, is basically your slope is basically your difference, because what you're doing right now is you're increasing a term and you add 3. Increasing a term, you add 3. Increasing a term, you add 3. So it's equivalent of a linear equation, if that makes sense to you, with 2 as your initial number. So you start with 1, 2, which is first term is 1 and the answer is 2, right? For your term. Is that computing? Making sense? Yeah. So take a look at number 6, if you can comprehend it. So this is check the pattern here. Plus, what's this? Plus 6 each time. So when you set it up, your equation will be an equals to what? First term 7 plus n minus 1 difference is 6, right? Like this. And you want to know which term is 259, correct? 259. Okay. Still okay? All right. So if that is the case, then let us take a look at the solving, right? So be n minus 1 times 6, which is 252. Divide by 6, I'll get 42. Right, so n is then 43. So we're looking at the 43rd term for that. Does that make sense? Okay, so the packet for this is in the email. Well, I sent out an email earlier to talk about how to find it. It's still in your locker, still in the resource file. Just check the email I sent you earlier last week, I think. Yeah, check it over there. There's a packet for this. Okay, there is a packet. It's like 34 pages long, but there's a packet for this. Okay. That's for Google Classroom. when I'm talking about the, he's talking about where the packet is. The packet is in the resource file, which is not in the Google Classroom. It's on a School Locker. Okay. All right. So, how about this? Is the following sequence a linear pattern? Is this a linear pattern? No. What is it? What is it doing? What is it trying to do? Yeah, exponential. You can say that. Times 2 each time, right? So we remember how to do this, no? First term, so we'll use G to represent, and I'll tell you why in a bit. So you start with 1, first term, right? Times 2 to the n power, but it's n minus 1 power. Why is that? Well, think about your arithmetic, right? Arithmetic is a1 plus n minus 1d. That's adding, right? Adding or subtracting. But this is multiplication. So to multiply things n minus 1 times, you multiply by 2 and then multiple times, right? So n minus 1 times. I like that. That makes sense? All right. So since that's the case, can we find the formula for both of these? So for the first one, this will be, not y. We'll just use g, okay? Because it's called geometric, and we'll talk about it formally in a bit. So g of n, okay? G of n is equal to first term 2 times 3 is the common difference, right? Common ratio, we call it, to the n minus 1 power. It's the multiple, right? Like that. Similarly, this one would be what? You start with 5 times, what are you multiplying by here? 4, right? 4 to the n minus 1, okay? Such pattern is called a geometric series. Why is it called geometric? Because it has geometry implications to it. We'll talk about that maybe in the future, but not today. So it's basically, if you look at the proof of it, it has to do with triangles, basically. Okay. Regardless, let's look at this. So it goes like this. The n term is equal to the first term times r to the n minus 1 power, right? Like how it describes here. Okay. So the next part is then, how can I tell whether or not something is geometric or arithmetic? You just look at it, right? So which, is it geometric? Is it arithmetic? Is it neither? What is it, right? So take a look. What do you think? Arithmetic? Geometric? Neither? What is it? What would it be? Neither is correct. So it's neither. Okay. And then to find the formula, it's a little complicated. Can you guys, is it possible for you to find the formula for this? Can you tell? What is it trying to do? Tn is what? N square, right? N square. Yes, n square is correct. All right. So, that's pretty much it for this week. I mean, I know this isn't much, but since we are going for a long game, right, 2 more months, and this is all we have planned for this week. So your homework is basically in your Google Classroom. If you haven't joined the Google Classroom, go read the email, join the Google Classroom, and then assignments in there, okay? The description's on there, okay? Just do that part and then upload it there. The reason why we're transitioning to Google Classroom is because we had problems with uploading multiple pictures, okay? So before we go, or before we end the stream, you can keep working, obviously. Can you please, we're taking attendance, okay? So please tell me if you're here, okay? So if you're here, say here. Nobody's here? Great. All right. 1, 2, 3. Who's Halvak Doctor? Who's that? I only see 26 people. 27? Eight. So I don't see. So who's Havoc Squad? Someone tell me who that is. Okay. So I'm gonna go by name because we're missing people. Oh, Shakant, okay. So who's not Tomo? And who's Bobby Shmoota? Can you guys log in with your school account? It's really hard to do. Who's you? Heck. So, is Jessica here? Okay. So not Tomo and Bobby Shmurda is who? Joe? Who's Joe? Oh, Joseph Jones? Alright. You guys, like, I'm gonna start banning people. Yeah. I don't know who that is. You're gone. And Natomo's gone. Goodbye. The email with the classroom code. Someone tell him the code. Thanks, Sarah. Alright, I'm still missing I want to say everyone else is here. I've seen Brandon, you're here? Brandon Zhang? Brandon? Alright, anybody else have a problem with the code for the classroom? Everyone found your homework? So there are two parts. One is the pages that we had, which is here. It tells you how many pages you have to do. And the other part is your there's an extra worksheet attached. So do that one too. And when you're done, just take the picture and upload. That's all. Okay, it's due tomorrow, I think. Okay. So I'm missing Brandon. Right. That's it, right? I don't see anybody else missing. All right, Brandon, if you're watching, then you can catch up later and send me a message saying that you were here or you did it. Okay? Any other questions before we close here? All right. Stay safe and goodbye. Do we do 11 and 12? Yes, you do 11 and 12. Please do 11 and 12. You want to do it together? Yeah, let's do it together. So if you want an arithmetic sequence, you have to count how many terms, right? So like this is the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term, right? So it's 3 plus n minus 1, the difference is 39. But n, you already know. Which term is this? This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth term, right? So A5, right? So you would do it. So 3 plus 4D is 39. So 4D is 36. D is 9. So that means you add 9 each time. So 12, 21, and 30, etc. Okay? Just like that. All right, and geometric is the same idea. Okay, so if you look at geometric sequence, this one. So 3 times, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So G5 is 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, R to the 5 minus 1 term. Okay? So that means 3 times R to the 4th should equal to 3072. Then you want to figure out what R is. So divide by 3. So divide by 3, R to the 4th power is 1, 0. What's this? 3, 24. So R turns out to be this is 6. Sorry. So R is 4. Yeah. So R is 4. So you times 4 each time. So times 2, 4, times 4, times 4, times 4. What's this times 12? Times 4. 8, 4, 768. Okay. And that's it. Okay. Any other questions before we go? Very nice. Yeah, the next page in the sheet on Google Classroom should be simple enough, right? All right, that is it then. I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye. Do your homework, all right? Submit on Google Classroom. Shouldn't be a problem anymore because they should be able to do multiple pictures. All right, goodbye.